Hey there, welcome to Living Local with Lindsay Kovach. On this channel, I typically talk about all the amazing neighborhoods and activities that the Greenville and upstate area have to offer, and new and exciting things coming to our city. Today, I'm not going to talk about any of that. Instead of talking about why the Greenville area is a good fit for so many people, I'm going to talk more personally about why Greenville was the best choice for my family. If you've watched this channel before, you know that I've lived in the upstate for over 15 years, and we have called Travelers Rest home since 2015. When we first moved to Greenville, we rented a cute cottage house walkable to downtown, and after that we purchased our first home in Clemson, where I was working at the time. Now if we fast forward to a few years later to when we were beginning to start our family and we ran into some complications. In 2014, I had a high-risk pregnancy that had us driving back and forth to Greenville from Clemson multiple times a week for specialty doctor's appointments. When things started looking a little more bleak and a premature birth was almost certain, we started educating ourselves about both the medical providers in Clemson, where we lived, and in Greenville, where most of the specialist and pediatric-specific healthcare providers were located. So as a relatively healthy 30-year-old at the time, I'd never considered proximity or access to a strong healthcare system as part of my decision about where I was living or where I would purchase a home. To make a long, dramatic story short, on Halloween night in 2014, we drove from Clemson to the downtown Prisma hospital, and quickly after our arrival, I had twin girls via emergency C-section. They were 23 and a half weeks old at birth, and at the time, viability was considered 24 weeks. They weighed 1 pound 3 ounces and 1 pound 11 ounces. So for our family, this is one of those moments that completely changed the trajectory of our life, as the birth of children does. But for us, we began a long journey in the neonatal intensive care unit, trying to help our new babies survive and eventually come home. So we lived in Clemson, but decided to drive to the Greenville hospital 45 minutes away the night they were born because we knew Greenville was the only level 2 NICU in the area, and the hospital closest to us in Pickens would not be able to care for premature babies this small. After their birth, we began the daily commute from Clemson to Greenville to see our girls as they remained in the NICU, growing and strengthening to come home. So from October 2014 until March of 2015, we had 5 months of daily drives back and forth to visit our girls in the NICU. Finally, in March of 2015, one of the twins was strong enough and stable enough to come home. She had a G-tube for feeding to help her gain weight and a little oxygen through a cannula in her nose to support her underdeveloped lungs. At that time, we were juggling 2 full-time jobs, caring for 1 baby at home, and continuing to support and see our other baby in the hospital. That baby was having a much tougher road, and we knew in the spring of 2015, while she was still in the hospital 6 months after birth, that she would need more medical support if and when she came home. So we started to look at availability of in-home nursing care, pediatric specialists, pediatric therapists, and medical-specific childcare facilities in the Clemson area. Tigertown is great for football and afternoons on a boat enjoying the beautiful lakes, but had nowhere near the healthcare support resources that our children would need. So as we continued to manage the daily juggle of 1 child at home and 1 in the hospital 45 minutes away, we decided we needed to list our home and move. We put our Clemson house on the market, and it sold in the weekend. Then we started the house hunt here and bought and moved into our home in Travelers Rest in August of 2015. Our second daughter came home in October of 2015 after nearly 365 days in the hospital. She came home on a feeding tube. She had a tracheotomy, which is a breathing tube inserted in her windpipe, and was on a ventilator and oxygen 24/7. After her arrival home, we began the outpatient support necessary to support a medically complex child. From in-home nursing, medical supply delivery services, to every pediatric specialist the upstate has, we gained a pretty strong understanding of the scope of the healthcare system in the area. So to answer the question, why was Greenville the best choice for our family? At that time, it was because it was a city with strong healthcare and specifically pediatric healthcare support services that we needed close by. We were able to see all the specialists to meet our child's needs, including nephrology, ear, nose, and throat, endocrinology, pulmonology, gastroenterology, cardiology, and ophthalmology. We saw a pediatrician who specialized in care for medically complex children, Dr. Jones at the Ferlato Center for Complex Pediatric Care. He worked with a team that included a nutritionist and a caseworker who supported services during each visit. The only procedure that we needed to travel out of the upstate for was a cardiac echo that was done at MUSC in Charleston. So what is the scope of the healthcare system in Greenville? But first, I'd like to say that we had amazing support during our long NICU stay by doctors, nurses, staff, and therapy providers, and have had positive experiences after. The care we have received has always felt personal, receptive, and tailored to us as individuals and looking at the full scope of our children's health history. Greenville also has really unique children's support programs like the Wonder Center, which is a daycare for medically complex children, the Myers Center for Special Children, which is a preschool for kids with high medical needs, and the Ferlato Center for medically complex children, to name a few. So let's take a look at Prisma and Bon Secours by the numbers. We will also review a few neighborhoods that are close to the hospital campuses that would be a great option for those looking to work in the healthcare system and want a short commute, or for someone who might want to live close to the hospitals for quick or frequent access for themselves or their family members. Prisma Health is the largest not-for-profit health organization in South Carolina and has 3 key facilities. This includes its main hospital with a level 1 trauma center and 746 beds, Patewood Hospital, known for its maternity and orthopedic services, as well as breast health, ENT, and aging services, and a wellness pavilion that opened in 2025. Prisma Health is also a teaching hospital. The Greenville Memorial Campus hosts the University of South Carolina School of Medicine's Greenville campus. Bon Secours St. Francis Health System is a private, not-for-profit healthcare organization serving the Greenville, South Carolina area that specifically integrates spiritual and emotional well-being into its medical services. Bon Secours has several key facilities, including its main 245-bed hospital downtown, which has emergency care, cancer services, and a sleep center. The Eastside campus that has its surgical specialties and maternity services, and finally, a large 66,000 square foot cancer center. Some of the neighborhoods with closest access to Prisma and Bon Secours' downtown campus include Augusta Road, Parkins Mill, Gower, Alta Vista and Cleveland Forest, North Main, and the west side of Greenville. You can find more information about these neighborhoods with great downtown access in my video linked here. For quick access to East Side locations, I would recommend the new Hudson Point neighborhood, which I talk about a little more in my top 5 new constructions video. There are also many great neighborhoods off Pelham Road in Greer and Simpsonville that can give you quick access to these locations. Prisma also has branch campuses across the upstate and urgent care facilities. We use the TR North Greenville campus and urgent care for some of our less planned visits like ear infections and x-rays. My 23.5-week premature twins are now 10 years old and thriving. We still see some pediatric specialists, but are thankful that it's mostly routine visits and monitoring at this stage. I hope you enjoyed this video with some more personal reasons why Greenville was the best decision for my family. If you have questions about any of the programs I mentioned today, please feel free to reach out, or if you're ready to start your home search in the area, use my contact information linked below to schedule an introductory call.